Welcome back everyone. If you're looking to rise up the ladder to get to the rank of Eternus, or you just want to carry and impress your friends in pubs, the concepts I'm going to go over in this video will help you advance your Deadlock game there. Starting at number 1, I'm going to talk a bit about trooper waves. If you're trying to get aggressive and apply pressure early, you need to kill the wave because it is strong relative to you early game. You'll see if I just stand in the wave, the troopers will kill me pretty quickly. So, say if I were chasing someone through a trooper wave in the laning stage, I would take a lot of damage while chasing them, allowing them to potentially turn on me or force me out of lane. Specifically, there is a healing trooper that provides early regen, and it's the one with the banner. It will provide 40 HP bursts every 6 seconds to you when you are within 15 meters, and will heal other troopers for 80 health. Always kill the healing trooper before going on an opponent early game because this trooper can have huge burst healing and it can cost you a kill. The next tip I have is the concept of trooper equilibrium, which is where your trooper wave and the enemy trooper wave run into each other in the lane. The number one tip I can give is to never have your troopers under your own guardian. This is because the enemy can harass you and make you mess up last hits, they can deny easier because they also don't need a last hit, and they can deal damage to your guardian. A rule of thumb is that if they start bursting down your troopers early, you better be killing theirs too, or else the wave will come under your guardian. Again, make sure to kill the healer trooper because that will help you kill the wave faster and relieve pressure from you. The next tip is that you should harass your opponent when they are last hitting. Only one person needs to secure the last hit early game for both of you to get the souls. So, if your teammate is confirming, that opens you up to harass your opponent and mess up their last hitting. To do this most effectively, try to get your wave under their guardian or on their half past the bridge. Due to every hero having great mobility with stamina and some heroes having movement abilities on top of that, moving forward in the lane is not as dangerous as it is in Dota or League. Even if you die, the pressure you put on is much more important. At the beginning of the game, kills are worth 150 souls, which is equivalent to only 2 troopers. At 10 minutes, kills are worth 4 troopers, so making your opponent miss out on a few troopers early game is worth a lot. By being aggressive and harassing, you will mess up their rhythm and you can potentially get their deny if you distract them enough. If they focus on the last hit, you will get free damage off. If they don't focus on the last hit, they will miss out on souls. And either way, it's a win. The next tip is meleeing and parrying. With an aggressive tanky hero, you can secure last hits and get good damage off with melee, like I covered in my last video. Parrying allows you to block your enemy's melee attack and stun them for 2 seconds. This will allow you to get 2 charged melee attacks off on them or a lot of free shots in. Parry has a cooldown of 2 seconds if successful and 4 seconds if unsuccessful, so you can't spam it. If you mess up your parry, you leave yourself open to melee attacks. You can practice parrying on the training dummy in the hero sandbox over here, and then try adding it to your game once you have the timing down. The next tip I have for you is flex slots. These are incredibly important because they will allow you to have more than 4 of a single type of item. You can only have 4 of a single type of item unless you unlock these. There are times where my team is getting steamrolled and I have to sell items to make room for others rather than just putting them in my flex spots. There are 4 of them and they are unlocked after destroying 3 guardians, destroying 2 walkers, destroying all walkers, and destroying both shrines. This is situational, but if you notice a walker is low or a shrine is open to take, it's sometimes worth it to push hard and sacrifice yourself for the cause of getting another flex spot for your team. The next tip regards farming rotations. This is not a jungle camp guide, but more conceptual. You always want to farm backwards from most risky to least risky. Lanes are the most risky to farm because you show on the map and the enemy team can come and kill you. So push out a forward wave of troopers and then farm camps backwards to keep up your souls while also staying safe. When you push down an enemy objective, take the furthest forward camp that you can while still being safe. This will put the camps on cooldown and deny your opponents from getting that farm. You will see my team backs off here and I head to the camp closest to the enemy base that is still safe for me to farm. The next tip regards the mid-boss, the Roshan of Deadlock. The mid-boss spawns at 10 minutes with a loud roar and an announcement. At 60% health, it will roar, announcing to both teams that it is close to death. It will also make a noise when it dies. Because the mid-boss notifies the other team when it is low, when you take the mid-boss, you want to either make sure that the other team is dead, or that the middle lanes are pushed out so that they cannot zipline in to steal the Rejuvenator, which is what you get for defeating the mid-boss. If the other team is taking it, once you hear the roar that the mid-boss is at 60%, there is still time to contest, especially if one of your middle lanes is pushed up to the mid-boss location because you can quickly zipline in. The Rejuvenator will slowly descend from the ceiling after the mid-boss dies. The Rejuvenator buff lasts 3 minutes or until death, and it reduces each player's next respawn time by 40, 50, and 60% on its first, second, and third death, and it can be killed more than 3 times. It converts all nearby troopers to super troopers, increasing their health, and it increases fire rate by 20%, max health by 200, and movement speed by 1 meters per second for you and your team. The mid-boss respawns 7, 6, and 5 minutes after its first, second, and third death, which means it will spawn more frequently and cause more teamfights late game. The mid-boss is not really a game ender. It can be, but it's more like a way to gain map control because the super troopers will naturally push lanes in, or take a good fight with the buffs and reduce respawn time, or press your advantage and take a walker, a shrine, or the soul urn. When you take the mid-boss, make sure you utilize the Rejuvenator buffs quickly because they will wear off after 3 minutes. Don't just take the mid-boss and go farm camps. I see this all the time. Don't waste the mid-boss buff. If your opponents are taking mid-boss and you can't contest, try to push out the side lanes so they have to go back and defend, killing time off of the Rejuvenator buff. The Soul Urn, which is the next tip, recently got a huge update. It spawns at 10 minutes on either side of the middle of the map, and you have to take it from one side to the other. Be careful though, because the enemy team will try to contest, and the urn usually causes a team fight. If you bring too few people, you could lose the team fight and the urn. But you can also use this to bait a team fight or distract from an objective on the other side of the map, like a guardian or a shrine. So if a team is delivering the urn to the left side of the map, look to take objectives on the right side of the map. The huge update is that if a team is down in souls by more than 8%, the urn drop-off point will be on their side of the map in these locations. I love this change because it can stop the leading team from urn snowballing because they have to deliver it closer to the patron of the team that's behind, and it helps the team that's behind because they can deliver it to a safer location. It also provides you more souls if you have 8% less souls than the other team, and this will help you make more comebacks. Remember, this isn't League of Legends. This is made by the creators of Dota, so the game is never over. The delivery location will blink on the map when a team is trying to deliver it, and the carrier will be revealed after 20 seconds when carrying it. If you carry it for more than 90 seconds, it will start dealing 1% of your health as damage every second. It gives you bonus movement speed, and you cannot use abilities or shoot while carrying it. When you turn it in, you get 60% of the souls when delivering and 40% in soul orbs, which can be denied. When it is delivered, I recommend meleeing it immediately to secure a lot of the soul orbs that come out of it. The urn also provides everyone on your team with a gold buff, and you can make the carrier drop the urn by heavy meleeing them. The next tip is one of the most important in this video, and it is pushing lanes. Make sure that your lanes are pushed out at all times. If you take a bad team fight in the enemy base and they get a team wipe, they can just speed boost down the zipline of the lane that is in or close to your base and take shrines or even end the game quickly. See how little time it takes me to get from my base to the other team's patron and end the game? You need to constantly be aware of how pushed in your lanes are to understand what you can do. If you win a team fight in your base and all your lanes are pushed in, it is more than enough to push out the waves into the enemy base and back off to gain map control so you can take camps, urn, or mid-boss. The last 3 tips will be quick but are important. The first is teleporters. You can use teleporters to get across the map quickly. The most important one that I have used is the one between yellow and purple. In this clip, you can see that I push out the purple lane and TP over to the yellow lane just in time for me to swing the fight for my team. You can also use the deep enemy teleporters to help split push and surprise the enemy team. You can use the teleporters near your base to farm safely and get behind the enemy team if they're pushing down the opposite lane. The second is runes and temporary buffs. They spawn in between the side lanes and the middle lanes at 10 minutes and respawn every 5 minutes. If picked up at 14:55, a new one will respawn at 15 minutes, so you can have multiple active at a time and they last 160 seconds. You can see if the rune is still there via the minimap icon. They are the little white circles. If there is a good rune for you, make sure to try to get some value out of it, like ganking the nearby side lane. In this clip, I grabbed a gun rune as Haze and identified that I could go and gank the McGinnis and push out purple. The final tip is gank the highest net worth heroes on the other team. Gank is an old term meaning gang kill. Group up with a few of your teammates and isolate their strongest team members when they are alone. With them dead, it will allow you to force an objective or take a better team fight and will slow them down and reward you with a lot of souls. The game has comeback mechanics, so if your team is behind in souls, you'll be rewarded with more souls when you kill them. I hope these tips were helpful. Please let me know down in the comments if you want me to cover any of these topics more in depth, or if there are ones that I haven't covered that you want me to. Leave a like if this video was helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. It helps keep me motivated to make these videos and keep improving on them. Thank you, and see you soon.